No one told me this about postpartum recovery, but hey, I'm out here and I'm learning so that you don't have to. Hi lovelies and welcome, it's Funto here. So these are some of the postpartum body changes and recovery changes that I experienced, and I just didn't really expect them, and I don't think they're spoken about that much. So I've learnt this and I'm sharing it with you so that hopefully if you have a similar experience, you're not in the dark. The first thing is that you lose a lot of muscle mass. So for me, after giving birth, I felt like my whole body just felt really soft and really like jelly. And I think I expected my tummy to feel away, but how it felt compared to what I thought it would feel like compared to how it actually felt was totally different. And I think it's just a simple thing of your body really does lose a lot of muscle mass during pregnancy. So obviously, of course, that's an important part of the process. But for me, it did leave me feeling a bit weaker postpartum, and I think that is actually one of the key things that contributed to my body overall looking quite different to my pre-pregnancy body. Now, of course, it goes without saying that everybody's postpartum journey is different, everybody's body is different, but I'm just sharing my experience just so that it can maybe be of some sort of help to you if you're interested. And I know I found content like this super helpful and insightful, and just because I'm really curious, so I hope this does the same for you too. Something that I did not expect was for my whole core in particular to just feel like jelly. Genuinely, there were times where I felt like my intestines were kind of falling out. That's how weak my stomach was, particularly in the middle. And that's basically a condition called diastasis recti, which if you go online, there's lots of information on what it actually means. And you can also see a pelvic floor specialist to help you diagnose it properly. But it's definitely something that reading the symptoms is something that I was experiencing, and I found no changes in that until I started weight training. And it's actually been really enjoyable to weight train and recover my body in this way because it's bringing lots of benefits. And that leads on to my next point, that I have found resistance training and strength training to be super, super important for postpartum recovery. So I have found that since I've been going to the gym and lifting weight and progressively overloading and lifting heavier weights, my body is changing and recovering in ways that I haven't seen it before. And I think the main difference is that I'm building a lot more muscle and I'm getting that muscle mass and strength back. I used to have problems like lower back aches if I was on my feet for too long, or if I went for a long day with lots of walking, my lower back would ache. As I mentioned, my core really felt like jelly, and none of those things I've seen change until I've started weight training. And so I've absolutely been loving going on this journey where I'm incorporating resistance training as a really core part of my recovery plan, because I'm feeling better, I feel like my body is performing better, and I'm also starting to look better and look stronger, look more toned, and looking a little less soft. Now, of course, that's a personal preference, but even if your aesthetic goals are different to mine, I have found that strength training has provided a lot of benefits beyond just how my body looks overall. It's had a really good impact on how I feel. If you want to know more about my postpartum fitness journey, how I'm getting on, and how I even started it, then you're going to want to stick around for the next video, and remember to subscribe to see the whole series. Your body does a lot of the recovery work on its own. So it actually kind of surprised me how quickly my body was able to shed the early baby weight and water weight in, I think, the first, I'd say 2 to 3 months. And I felt like my body did a really good job of just taking out all that extra fluid. My face reduced in its puffiness, and it does also make sense that our bodies are designed and are really good at adapting. So in the same way that your body adapts during pregnancy, I found that my body did a really good job of adjusting postpartum and making sure that I had what I needed to take good care of my baby. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that my body was exactly the same. It did not just go back to normal, but I think I was surprised by how much of the work that my body did without me trying. My postpartum body from my first pregnancy compared to my second has actually been really different, and it's something that I didn't entirely notice until I was looking back at photos that I took of myself postpartum after my first pregnancy compared to my second pregnancy. And I will say that first time around, I think my body did more to look closer to my pre-pregnancy body than it has done second time around. I feel like second time around, my body hasn't really changed much since about maybe the 2 or 3 month mark postpartum. And I found that my core is a lot looser than it was first time around. And just generally, my body has just changed even more. And it makes sense because my body has done even more work to take care of a new baby and bring them into this world, which is amazing. But I think I just wasn't expecting the experience to be so different between baby number 1 and baby 2. And I think if I had been expecting it, then I would have taken my exercise routine and strength training in particular more seriously earlier on postpartum second time around. And so yeah, it's just a lesson learned, and I am enjoying the process now that I'm doing it. And I think that it makes sense that my body has reacted differently for the second time around because it's done even more work on top of the first time that I was pregnant. Now, I could share some more TMI postpartum things, but I don't know how I feel about it. So if you really want to know some more, then drop a comment and maybe I'll share a few more. If you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. Please give this a thumbs up if it was helpful, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.